This episode of Dynamic Arts Producer Series is brought to you by Keystone Pizza in Payette, Idaho. Hey there, everyone in Internet Land. This is Greg coming at you from Studio B in Dynamic Arts Musical Academy and Recording Studios. I hope everyone's having a great day, and we're moving on to episode 6. Yes, video 6 of the producer series. All right, you've been waiting a week for this one. This is the actual shootout. This is going to be fantastic. You got introduced to the contenders last week, and now with the aid of Connor Menton and my guest star, Grady Hansen, we're going to shoot all of those out, and we're going to get right at it right now.
Damn it. Hello, Grady Hansen here from Stone Prophet, Keystone Pizza in Payette. Thank you, Greg. Here with the boys in Emmett, man, having a good time, nerding out, and I guess our first trial run here is we're gonna do a bunch of rectifiers on all these critters and then the real critter over there. So this is a little riff from a Stone Prophet song. So we're gonna play it through all of them. Here we go. So that one was the old Line 6 Pod Pro?
Yes, sir.
Pod Pro, which I've actually never run through, and I'm a huge Line 6 fan. I had the little Pod pedal, the Pod HDX, I think it was. Just got rid of it recently for the Helix. But anyways, next it looks like we are going into a Digitech RP1000, which I've never played through either. So fairly similar. Let's see what happens. Definitely could tell the difference between those two as far as the way it felt. Seems like the Line 6 was more responsive. So okay, moving on to the head rush, right? That sounded good as well. It seemed a little drier than the first two to me, a little bit, but I like it. I like it. Yeah, this one here is the Helix floor. All right. All right.
What are your favorites?
Honestly, the pod.
No kidding.
Yeah. So far, I mean, I liked my Helix better than the Head Rush and the Digitech, but my Helix has that little kind of scratchiness up on the high end where the pod was just warm and nice. So now we got the real amp. All right, now we've got the real rectifier. Nice. Nice, very nice. As expected, the real amp definitely, was pushing air and had a feeling. Of course, to be fair, I was in headphones with all the modelers. But I would say they all sounded different. Like, none of them exactly sounded like the rectifier. But if I was to choose one that I wanted to model a rectifier with and play live or even record with, I would honestly go with that older Line 6. I mean, it sounded great to me. So.
All right, let's move her along. From the pod to the Digitech. All right, now finally to the Helix. You want to plug it into the blue. The Helix, the diet beer of guitar tone. All right, here we go. And this is the Helix. All right, so my thoughts on this. I like the Helix because it breathes. I like the Head Rush because it was crispy. The Digitech was terrible, and I absolutely adore still the Red Face Pod Pro.
Okay, so we're going through the pod. The old Line 6 pod, JCM 800-ish. Okay. Moving on to the Digitech RP1000. And next we are moving on to the head rush. The Helix JCM 800.
Big guy.
The JCM Real McCoy.
All right, there you go.
Woo!
All right, so what are your thoughts?
My
Between them
thoughts,
all.
my thoughts are I want a JCM 2000 dual super lead amp. Again, like as far as the modelers go, again, I don't know, the Helix and the old Pod were pretty close. The Digitech seemed dry, and that one seemed a little high-ended as to where, especially the Pod and the Helix seemed a little
head
warmer.
rush did?
Yeah, the head brush seemed a little high-ended, I guess.
okay.
But my Helix still had that sizzle on the top too, a
Yeah.
little bit.
Here we go, and JCM 2000! All right, Pod Pro. Clearly. All right, and the diet beer of Guitar Tone. Here we go. Digitech RP 1000. That sounded like hammered sh**. And the head rush! Ooh, that's gonna be a close contender for hammered sh**. All right, here we go. And the Line 6 Helix. Oh yeah. Actually, this and the head rush sound very similar here.
So now we are doing a Fender Deluxe. I use the old Parker here. I've got the pickups split, so 2 single coils. I did not specify that was the pod, the Line 6 pod. Moving on to the Digitech RP1000 and their idea of a Fender Deluxe. Oh, that was actually kind of warm and clean. And now the Head Rush Fender Deluxe. Okay. And last but maybe least, the Helix. Quite a bit dirtier on that one. And now the real Fender Deluxe, and it's probably gonna blow the rib cage out of the front of my body. Ooh, I can already feel it. Oh, so clean and punchy. So clean. Okay. Well, definitely the punchiness and clarity of the real amp was just outstanding. I actually, again, liked the pod. I liked the Helix because...
girth. Your Helix
yeah,
had girth.
the Helix, like,
really
it could
nice.
clean up if I picked soft, and when I dug in, it would break up, you know? Yeah, and... So far, the RP1000, that's the best job it's done on any of our so far.
Here we go. All right, and this is the Line 6 Pod Pro. Not bad, not good either. This is the Digitech RP1000. You know, I don't hate it. And the Head Rush. Oh my goodness. And finally, the Helix. Yeah, all right. I think the winners of this round are actually, this is kind of funny, but the Helix and the Digitech are my favorites in this round.
Again, we are doing a Mark II-C, and we're going on the old Line 6 Pod Pro first. Okay, and next we are moving on to the RPG Digitech RPG 1000. A little dry. Okay, moving on to the Head Rush. Now we are moving on to the Line 6. And now, moving on to the real McCoy. Very nice, very nice. Honestly, and I'm not saying because it's mine, just sound-wise, my Mark II channel on my Helix better than even the real thing.
And my take through it. Yeah! See what kind of mess we can make with the Pod Pro. You know what? That was not awful. All right, the Digitech. You know, what's funny is I feel like it's trying.
Did we turn on the? We accidentally turned the wall.
No. No, that's just the way it sounds. Did we turn on the wall? No, it's just that shitty. All right, and the head rush. The Helix. Let's see what you got, son. Okay, Connor, I'm gonna have you do something weird. Click me on the red channel there and put me back in that mesa.
Channel one?
Red channel.
Right there?
Red channel.
Is that the red channel?
Is it? Does it look red?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's f***ing orange.
Okay, well, where's the red one then?
Well, if it goes.
Oh, I thought it would be. That's not really
Red channel.
That would be the solo channel.
All right, here we go. And. That concludes the shootout. The reason I wanted to do the red channel is when I hit your helix, that's what it sounded like to me,
Right.
was the red channel. And so I wanted just a real quick little comparison to see if it was just a channel thing.
No, and they actually sit in there sounded super similar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And so, anyway, overall, what do you think we've discovered today?
I think, personally, what I've discovered is, you know, as far as the modern modelers, you know, there's a huge price difference between the head rush and the helix.
Sure.
And my helix didn't do any better or any worse than the head rush. So
Okay.
I think when you get into a certain price point, it may not always be, as far as sound quality goes for the amp models, it may not always be you get what you pay for. Because I think that the head rush amp models sounded just as good as the helix. You know, the helix may have some more routing capabilities.
You've got more
and blah,
ability
blah, blah.
there, yeah.
Yeah, it's more versatile as far as controlling outside devices and whatnot, but the amp models were comparable to each other to me. So,
Okay.
you know, if you think you need to spend $1,500 on a helix because the amp models are going to sound better, maybe you should try out a head rush first. You know?
Agreed. My thought is for people recording at home that don't have the money for a head rush or a helix, my money's still on that little red pod
Absolutely.
because that thing kicked ass, and the Digitech wasn't able to keep up with the competitors.
Right.
But
It's older and way cheaper.
But I thought that little red pod held in there, hung in there
Absolutely.
with everybody else.
Absolutely, it contended with them for sure. So, and you can probably pick those up for a couple $100 used these days.
Oh yeah.
I think the only limiting thing about like an older pod or even the RP1000 is the inability to be able to load IRs.
Right.
That's
But you can put IRs in your computer.
exactly.
All right. I hope that this has been very informative. This was a very difficult and fun video to shoot. At this time of filming this A-roll, I have actually not seen nor heard the results. So I am certain there are some eye-opening things, and one of the most important pieces of all of this that I want everyone to take with them is that even though the modelers may not sound exactly like the real thing, they are still capable of creating decent, good tones, usable tones that you can use live or in the studio. Our biggest mantra here is that if it sounds good, it is good. But let me tell you what, next week we're going to be having Grady Hansen again in here, and we're going to be doing a cabinet shootout, because what's the most important thing in your chain? You're going to find that a lot of it is in the speakers. So he's going to be bringing in his rev generator 20-watt head, and we're going to be doing some IR loading, and then we're going to compare it to about, I don't know, 4 or 5 cabinets in here. I haven't quite decided, and it's going to be fun. So anyways, this is Greg from Dynamic Arts Musical Academy and Recording Studio. I hope everyone had a brilliant day. I hope everyone loved the video. We're signing off.